Um, Welcome to the introduction to modular sets. So we're going to look at basically on how to make like a proper modular set. So what I have here in our Mac scene is a Unreal Engine character height reference. So you could search this character up online for free. Um, Search them up on Google. The Unreal Engine 4 character reference height, and basically it'll give you a good idea on how to make your buildings and on pretty much all of your furniture in this height. So let's begin. So what I did was I visually break down the actual film as well, because I was kind of doing this for a project um, with the company that I'm working with. So as you see here, I broke down like the actual assets, and it actually helped me out with visually blocking things out and helping me out with um, like for example the door right here, and then the actual wall itself. And also, if you kind of looked at, if you kind of watch Back to the Future, there's kind of like two adjacent stores like right beside it. So what I did was I broke it down to the basic foundation and actually modeled it piece by piece, like the actual storefronts itself and the actual brick walls themselves. So that's one way of putting it out. And then when I was actually done with it in Unity, so give it a sec to load, and there we go. Wait a minute. I've actually um, broke this apart. Well, into like different pieces. Column, the doors, the actual windows themselves are actually pieces of their own, and basically including this window ledge itself. And pretty much the rest could be, and pretty much the windows themselves could be colored by a translucent material, kind of like a metallic translucent material, so it would kind of give like the illusion of an exterior view without showing the interior itself. And plus the actual textures themselves, it was a little bit tricky at first just to try to get it right when I was actually working on this. And generally it was just only a diffuse mount, so that's pretty much a good example of like actual basic exterior modular set from within Unity. There's also another project that another portfolio project that I did on my website. Um, Let me look that up. So if we actually visit the gallery and just look at a few crops, a few exteriors, you could also use modular sets to basically help you out with creating um, sidewalks and also the actual building itself, the actual buildings themselves, and actually duplicate them and just and create an actual illusion of an actual street view itself. Anyways, to pretty much search up like a good example, let's search up like hallways. Hallways or actually an office interior. Office interior. Office interior. Oh God, that's not what I meant at all. Like there's also different varieties in simple architecture. So take this for example. Um, the actual interior space of an office. Like it has repeating objects in to make to add more space and depth to your actual environment. The actual ceilings themselves, the columns, door, and pretty much the office space. And also office cubicles as well. I think it's better if I go with large images. Also, cubicles can be modular too. And plus we get some ugly columns and windows. Um, let's actually check out office interior lobbies. We also see repeating patterns as well, and also exterior windows. Same thing up on the ceiling as well. They also repeat, and also these walls too, as well, just to give you like an idea. So today we're actually going. So what was I saying? So we're gonna jump right into 3ds Max and create an actual hallway. So I'm gonna start off with a box right here. I'm gonna go to my top view, or T for top view. I'm gonna turn off the grid by pressing G, and create like a simple we're gonna create like some walls. And pretty much I'm going to make our walls a bit bigger than our friend right here. So I'm gonna make it 320. And I'm gonna name this guy wall. $170 and one, actually 45 would do. Alright, 50. And I'm gonna convert it to another poly. Now, we also need to create our wall. I mean our ceiling. So, either once again, I think the easiest way to do this would actually be um, to clone it, to actually clone this wall to the other side. Clone this guy again. I'm actually going to name this floor. There are actually many ways of actually doing this. So I'm actually going to do a quick monkey select, or I could just do this at the back view. And I'm actually going to bring this down to his feet. I'm actually going to align this and actually bring this up to his feet or ankle. And I'm actually going to turn on angle snaps by vertex. Do the same thing on the other side. Well, this could be our floor and our ceiling. And we could basically pretty much create like a basic hallway from there. And I could just rename this ceiling. And I could bring in some actual depth to this and make it more of an open, friendly space by adding depth to it. So, for example, I can move this guy down a bit. Control Shift E. Nope. Add some segments. We can either give kind of like a drop-down ceiling. Actually, let's give something like that. So I'm just going to bring this down a bit. And I'm going to insert and extrude. Just not too much. So probably by 10, -10, and I'm just going to press OK. And then if we go into isolation view by the purple isolation button or isolate selection, we get this. So it looks like our geometry looks good. And thus we could like add like additional props to it. Now I'm actually going to create, and now it comes to the point where we need to create an actual floor. So I mean an actual door. So I'm going to copy this into our next hallway. Actually clone out our wall. Call this wall underscore door arch. Or I'm just going to call this door arch. Or you could actually set like its naming preferences to like office door arch. Well, let's actually do that just to organize ourselves. Office door arch. And then all you just have to do is just copy this or copy and then just paste, paste, and paste. Wow. Paste. Alrighty. And paste. So now that our objects have been renamed, let us unfreeze our character model and actually bring him forward on the y-axis. Actually bring him up a bit so we can get the actual door height rate for him. Free selection. So first off, that I would like to do is when I start off my next prop, just to double check and make sure, I always snap the end vertices to my other wall, my previous wall, just to make sure that I have my actual pieces snapped together. So when we bring it into Unreal Engine 4, it would be no problem to make it at all. So I'm going to go ahead and press the connect button. I'm going to add in our segments. So 2 segments, and there. Also the same thing, but I'm actually going to bring our edge segments up a bit. Resolve. There we go. And you always want to make sure that your rooms, or whatever you're making, is always friendly to your character height. So this is actually a good example. So let's actually make a door right here. I'm going to bridge it. So I'm actually going to bring this up a bit. There we go. Perfect. So now that we have our door, our door arch right here, we can also thin it out as well. We can also have a series of doors as well, if we want to. We can actually thin this out, or actually bring this out a little bit more. It's like an actual briefing room. But for this, we're just going to keep this small for now, and pretty much adjacent. And pretty much adjacent. And I'm going to call this door arch, door window arch. So say, for example, if you want to make like a small window in your hotel, we'll just simply just make like a window about like right here. It doesn't have to be perfect, so we can always adjust this later. I'm going to select my edge, and I'm going to ring my selection, or marquee select it, and I'm going to press the connect button, and I'm going to add like one edge loop right here. So I'm going to bring up my right view, or you can go to orthographic, right, I'm going to press Z, I'm going to do is select, and now by pressing Alt W, whatever you have this actually originally, I can actually look around in wireframe. I can actually do this in perspective if I wanted to. And I can add in I can add in some extra right here. Make sure it's at 40. Now I can select my two faces and delete them. Now, if you find that wireframe's not a actually good way to look at your geometry, you just simply go shaded and edge faces to see your actual geometry. Actually, select both, and then just press bridge. I'm gonna put shaded on, and now our character is in rear view. I can actually, I can actually rotate him by 90 degrees. So he is at staring distance with us. Ooh. So now he's at staring distance with us. He could be your creepy boss or whatever. So when he looks around, he'll see that if you're being productive or not. So adjust our window a bit. And then we can make our next room. We can also have columns and trims, or even what's that word I'm looking for? Or even curved or segmented walls to help divide the room and make it look like that it's easily divided off into another hallway. So to do that, we're going to grab our blank wall that we have. I'm going to go shift, and as usual, I snap it to our actual geometry. Or if you're not confident, just simply do this. And now we have a column. But the problem is, how do we make it more unique and less bland, and less of a bland hallway? Oh, I forgot to actually make this. And then pretty much you can rotate it. Actually, we can actually snap this to this guy right here. And actually move him a bit. There we go. Now, if I wanted this to be unique than the rest, I can just simply add some geometry to it. So I'm just going to bring this up, and we can just scale this in or scale this out. And then you can just simply just select these polygons, and we could just pretty much do the same at the bottom. So I'm going to say connect, put this to default of 1. I'm going to go to faces, delete, and front view. And I'm going to add in symmetry, but on the z-axis. Bring them here, and then I'm going to just snap this together. And if you feel like it's not working for you, it just simply just collapse it. Press yes. And then just simply just snap these guys together. And hit Control Delete. And then you can simply just select these faces, and then just press Extrude, local normal, and you'll be like, okay. And also, you can actually make a new object, or you could actually mirror it by using symmetry as well. But, oh, there. Ah, there we go. And we can collapse this. Yes. Detach. And then we're going to call this a office curve column. Office curve column. Oh. And we're just going to call this or we could just call this half wall, or what's the word I'm looking for? Divider or wall corner. Ah, that's the word I was looking for originally. It was wall corner. So wall corner, office wall corner, up corner, corner. So as for our curved corner, we could actually um, delete these spaces. Okay. And then I can double click on this whole edge loop I have here, press chamfer, bring it out a bit, and I pretty much have a pretty good curved wall corner right here. And I'm going to add in some geometry for it to be precise. Okay. And then I could actually bridge these guys together. Bridge. Bridge. And oops. I actually needed like one more edge loop. Actually needed like one more edge loop in there. So I'm going to bring this back a bit. I'm going to press chamfer. And then I'm going to do this. Done. And I'm also going to do the same thing down at 1 and 2. Or you could just leave it if you want to save on texture space. And basically pretty much we just turn this out, and I'm going to call this short or actually I'm actually going to bring this out a bit. And basically it's just the same thing. So minus our friend over here. I'm going to duplicate our hallway. Oh my god. Kids don't get sick. And basically, so if you get this pivot like right over here, and and it's really and you really don't want this, and you really don't want this to be moved like over here. You really don't want this to be over here. You could just do is press effects pivot only and center object. And then what we can do is I can just duplicate this guy, and then I can actually just rotate him around like 90 degrees. Boom. Snapped. And then this we can do the same thing. Duplicate, rinse, repeat. 90 degrees, and I could just move this a bit. Top view. I'm going to turn off grid. And then what we could do is we could just re-edit this. I'm going to put on snaps, snap it to here, and snap it over here. And I'll just do the same thing with the other side. Snap it here. So when we look at this now, in perspective, and in realistic, it really makes a difference. It really makes a difference in our hallway. And pretty much you just like add in some trims there, or pretty much like add like a column, like a small column. So the next time when we come back, we will actually do like on like making like the doors and pretty much and pretty much um, do an area that has like a set of stairs. Pretty much do an area that has a set of stairs. So, anyways, um, we're gonna save this as I'm gonna save this as office hallway. Or I'm just gonna call this office building. I'm gonna call this office building. Office building underscore modular tutorial. And I'm gonna save it. So anyways, I hope you like this video. I hope this is really useful. I hope this really comes in handy when you're actually making this. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. See ya. Bye.